Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be teaching you how to make this beautiful bag. Stick around to see how I made this sturdy strap that's like a tube. And for the materials, you'll need yarn. For the yarn, you'll need only 5 colors of your choice. The yarn that I'm using today is Winter King. It's a 4-ply acrylic yarn. Then you'll also need a crochet hook of 4 millimeters or whatever hook that is recommended for the yarn that you're using. And then you also need a pair of scissors and a darning needle to weave in your ends. For those who are going for a lined bag, then you'll need lining. For those who want to create a zip on top, you'll also need a zip. So those are some of the options that I can give you. I didn't put a zip, I didn't line my work. I am just going to give you the basics of this bag. So this is how our bag looks like. And the measurement of this bag is 10 inches across. And when it comes to this measurement, it is 6 inches deep from the exact middle. Then from here, it is 7 inches deep. Then the whole bag with the strap is a total of around 22 inches. So let's begin. So in this tutorial, you will learn how to make a basic multicolored granny square. Very neat, as you can see on the inside. And then you will also learn how to make this beautiful strap that you may need for your future projects. You will learn how to make Tunisian crochet stitch. You will learn how to double crochet, how to join granny squares, how to make single crochet. There are so many techniques to learn from this project. So if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're notified whenever I post these amazing tutorials. So let's get into the video. So you're going to start off with a magic ring. You're going to rotate your yarn around your 2 fingers like this. And then this is the tail. So you're going to grab your hook and put it under this loop and grab the working yarn. You can notice that what we are grabbing right now is attached to your yarn ball. It's the long yarn. So you're going to grab this and pull through like this. And then you're going to remove your 2 fingers. So we're going to chain 1 just to close off the magic ring. And this doesn't count as a chain. We just chain 1 to close off the magic ring. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, 1, 2, and 3. And this counts as our very first double crochet. So you're going to go into the magic ring as we formed here. You're going to go into it with 2 more double crochets. So for a double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. That's a double crochet in the US terms. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that's another double crochet. So that counts as 3 double crochets. Let me just put this away. This counts as 3 double crochets since the first chain 3 counted as a double crochet. So you're going to make a chain of 2, and then you're going to go into the magic ring with a total of 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. So that makes the second group of 3 double crochets. This is the first group, and then this is the second group, but they're separated by chain 2 space. Then you're going to make a chain of 2 and then 3 double crochets into the same magic ring. So 1, 2 and 3. If you're having a hard time holding the magic ring together, you can just pull on the tail of the magic ring so that the circle becomes a little smaller and easier to work with. But don't close it up entirely because you're still placing stitches into it. So after this is the third group of 3 double crochets, and then you're going to make a chain of 2. We want a total of 4 groups, so far we have 1, 2 and 3. And then you're going to go into the same magic ring with a total of 3 double crochets, and this will be our 4th group of 3 double crochets. So this is what we have right now, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now we are going to pull the tail of the magic ring and close it up entirely. So pull on it so that it can close up. And after this, you're going to make a chain of 2, and you're going to make a slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 at the beginning of your round. So insert your hook into 1, 2 and into the third chain of the beginning chain 3 of the round, and yarn over, pull through all loops on your hook like that, and that will create our slip stitch. After this, you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, leaving a tail to weave in, and then you're going to pull through. That marks the end of our very first round of the granny square. And as you can see, since we made a total of 4 groups, that means we have to create a square. We have this side, this side, this side, and then this side. So our intention is to create a square. So after this, you're going to go onto your next color. For me, that will be red, and I prefer to weave in my tails later on, so I'm not going to be weaving in my ends. As you can see, this is one of the granny squares that I've made, which is going to resemble this one, but at the back we still have the tails that we have to weave in. So grab your next color, and then you're going to create a slip knot. So to create a slip knot, you're going to cross over this yarn like this, as if to make a ribbon, something like that. Then hold onto the joining part there, and then yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through. So after this, you can pull on that tail. So if this is giving you a hard time to understand, you can put the video in slow motion so that you can watch exactly what I'm doing. So after this, you're going to attach your yarn into the space before that tail that we left behind after our very first round. So into this chain 2 space, you're going to put your yarn at the back, insert your hook, and then pull through. Make sure the knot that we created on the red color is at the back of your work, not at the front. So we just pull through the loop, not the knot. So after this, you're going to yarn over and then attach. So this doesn't count as a chain. We've just attached our red color. You're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet. Now into that same chain 2 space, you're going to place 2 more double crochets. So 1 and 2. And after this, you're going to make a chain of 1, go into the next chain 2 space, and place a total of 3 double crochets. And after this, you're going to make a chain of 2 and 3 more double crochets into the same exact chain 2 space. So that will create our very first corner. as you can see here. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and after this you're going to make a chain of 1 and then go into the chain 2 space with a total of 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. Alright, so this is what we have right now, and I think we are now starting to see the square forming. After this you're going to make a chain of 1 and then go into the next chain 2 space with 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets into the same exact chain 2 space, creating our third corner. So as you can see at the beginning, every chain 2 space has received a corner, which is created by placing 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. But the very first chain 2 space only had 3 double crochets. That means it's not yet complete. So you're going to make a chain of 1 and then go into the chain 2 space with a total of 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, like that. And then remember the 3 double crochet groups, the 2 groups of 3 double crochets are separated by chain 2 spaces. So we have this group and this group. That means we are going to make a chain of 2 and then go on top of the chain 3 at the beginning of our round, on top into the top chain, and make a slip stitch. So for a slip stitch you just insert your hook, yarn over and pull through all, and that's what we have. From here you're going to make a chain of 1 and then you're going to cut your yarn. So that marks the end of our second color, and you can see what we have right now. So I have to explain something. A corner, which is the one that has 2 chains, those corners will always receive 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. So if it's not a corner, like this space that has the chain 1, if it's a chain 1, it's not a corner, so it only gets 3 double crochets. So let's go on to our next color and see how it works out. So our next color is white, and we are making a slip knot just like we did for the red color. I hope you still remember. So make a slip knot, and this time I want to attach my yarn into this chain 1 space. Just get a chain 1 space, but I prefer it to be next to this tail, the chain 1 space that's next to the tail that we left behind while working the end of the red color. So insert your hook into the chain 1 space, attach. I hope you still know how to attach. Make that knot very tight, and that doesn't count as a chain. So you're going to make a chain of 3, and that counts as our very first double crochet. And I told you that the chain 1 space only receives 3 double crochets, so this counts as our very first one. So we're going to make a total of 2 more double crochets into the same exact space to make a total of 3 double crochets. So from here you're going to make a chain of 1 because we are not yet at the corner. We only place 2 chains in the middle of the groups of double crochets at the corner. So since we are not at the corner, you're only going to make 1 chain and then go into the chain 2 space. So once you reach the chain 2 space, you know you have reached the corner. You're going to insert your hook, make 1 double crochet, 2 and 3. And I told you when it comes to the corner, we place 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. So that's how we know that we have completed our corner. So after this, you're going to make a chain of 1 because we are not at the corner anymore. Then you're going to go into the chain 1 space with 3 double crochets, because I told you each chain 1 space only gets 3 double crochets, like that. And then you're going to chain 1 and then go into the corner, and the corner receives 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. So if you are getting value from this video and you're liking how your project is working out, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you're notified whenever I post any tutorial. So let's go ahead. You're going to make a chain of 1, and then you're going to go into the chain 1 space with a total of 3 double crochets, then you're going to make a chain of 1, and into the corner you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. After that, you're going to make a chain of 1, and then into the chain 1 space you're going to place only 3 double crochets, like that. And then you're going to make a chain of 1, and then into the corner, which is this one, you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. Okay, so after this you're going to make a chain of 1 because we are not at the corner anymore, and you're going to make a slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the starting chain 3 at the beginning of the round. So onto the top chain, which is the 3rd chain, insert your hook, pull through all loops, and then you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. So this is what we have so far. We are done with round 3. It's worked in rounds, but it creates boxes. So this is round 3, and these are the tails. If you prefer to weave them in as you go, that's totally up to you. This is how I prefer to do my work because I don't have a problem weaving in ends, really. So after this, you're going to go onto your next color. Mine is going to be blue. So I am basically referring to this square here, and I am following the same exact color palette. So you're going to make a slip knot, and we're going to insert our hook into the chain 2 space right before the tail that we've left behind on our white yarn. So into the chain 1 space. And attach your yarn, and then you're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet, and then place 2 more double crochets into the same exact space to make a total of 3 double crochets. Then you're going to make a chain of 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. So all chain 1 spaces only get 3 double crochets. Then you're going to make a chain of 1, and now we're at the corner, so we're going to place a total of 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. So the rest just remains the same. I think the basic explanation happened at round 3, so round 4 should be a walkover for you. Just to remind you, you chain 1 if you're not at the corner, and then into each chain 1 space you place 3 double crochets. And then you're going to make a chain of 1 and then 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. You have to note that you always have to have a chain 1 space in between the groups of 3 double crochets if it's not a corner. Not if it's not a corner. If it's a corner, then it's a chain 2 space in between the groups of 3 double crochets. So chain 1 into the corner, you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. Let me just finish up this round with you. After this, you're going to make a chain of 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, chain 1 into the chain 2 space. We are placing a corner, so it's going to be 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. After this, you're going to make a chain of 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, and then you're going to make a chain of 1. This is a corner, so it will receive 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. Like that. So after this, you're going to make a chain of 1 and make a slip stitch into the top chain of the chain 3 at the beginning of the round. So insert your hook, pull through all loops, and then you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. So that marks the end of round 4, and I think now you can go ahead and grow your granny square into whatever size that you want. So when you get the number of rows or rounds that you need for your project, I'm going to show you how I get rid of my loose ends. I know most people don't like tying knots, but I don't have a problem with that as long as it's done neatly, and I feel like it's really secure. So what I'm going to do right now is to get, apart from this string, the one that comes from the very last round, we're going to get the 2 strands that are close to each other, the blue and the green, and then I'm going to make a double knot. Make sure it's neat, double knot, and then you're going to make a cut close to the knot, and then you're going to get, the next color is white and blue, so get those 2 strands and then do the same, double knot, and then you're going to cut your yarn, and then you're going to get the next 2 colors, that is red and orange. Okay, red and white, and these ones are a bit far apart, but I'm going to just make a knot, and make sure you don't distort the shape of the granny square. So make a knot that's not going to create a distortion, and then you cut your yarn. After that, you're going to get your yellow and orange and red, and make a double knot. And then, since this one doesn't have what to tie with, you're going to just cut your yarn here like that. And now we're going to get our darning needle. So you're going to get your darning needle at this point, and then we're going to only weave in this orange yarn, the one that comes from the magic ring. You're just going to go in and out of a few stitches. Watch what I'm doing. I'm going back and forth into just a few stitches so that we can secure this tail. Okay, so this is what we have right now, and you're going to cut your yarn. Now we're also going to weave in this tail here, the one from the very last row. Okay. So make sure you're not distorting the general shape of the granny square. When you're weaving in your tails, make sure you're a bit gentle and on the loose side. And then after this, you're going to cut your yarn. And that's how I weave in the tails. This is our perfect granny square. When you go to the back, it has knots, but they're not visible because this is the wrong side of the work. And when you turn it to the right side, we are not seeing anything like knots on the right side of our work. Alternatively, you can use your darning needle to weave in each and every tail if you have your time and you don't mind sitting around and weaving in each and every tail on its own. Alright, so you're going to go ahead and make a total of 4 granny squares for your bag, and you're going to make sure they are on the wrong side. Just place all of them on the wrong side. And you're going to grab your yarn. The yarn that I'm going to be using to join is the green because it's the edging color, and I don't want any interruption when it comes to the middle section of the two colors of the 2 granny squares. So make sure your granny squares are on the wrong side, and let's begin to join them. So you're going to grab your hook and you're going to make a slip knot, just like that. And we are going to place our work like this. I'll be explaining why. So what we are going to do is to first join this and then this. That's the first thing that we're going to do. So just get your work onto the wrong side. As you can see, this is the wrong side and this is the wrong side. So you're going to insert your hook into that chain 2 space and attach. And now we're going to start joining stitch to stitch. So like that, and then single crochet. So that single crochet stitch is going to be on the wrong side of our work. All right, like that. And then when it comes to the chain 1 space, you're going to just place 1 single crochet into it, and then join stitch to stitch. I hope you're seeing what I'm doing. I'm trying to explain it very well because I used a dark edging color, so that means the stitches are not so visible, but just join stitch to stitch. And then when it comes to the chain 1 spaces, you just place 1 single crochet into that space. Alright, so I'm on the last group of the 3 double crochets, and I'm joining stitch to stitch. And then once you're done with that, you're going to go into the chain two space and join with a single crochet, joining both the granny squares. So let's see what we have right now. This is the wrong side of my work, and that's where we have the single crochet row bump. And from here, I told you we shall first join here and here. So that means we are going to just do this. Make sure all your granny squares are on the wrong side. So just place this here like this. And this time we are going to go into the chain two space here and the chain two space on this granny square and join single crochet, and just do the same exact process all the way up. Alright, so we are coming to the last group of the 3 double crochets, and we are joining them as usual. And then go into the chain two space and join with a single crochet. Just pull your yarn. This is what we have right now. So at this point, you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn, leaving a strand to weave in, and then you're going to pull through. Now we are going to start attaching the next granny squares. So from here, you're going to make a slip knot. And now we're going to join this side to this side. So start with the chain two space and attach your yarn. And then you're going to chain 1 and single crochet into the same exact chain two space. And now we are going to join stitch to stitch. And then into the chain 1 spaces, we just place 1 single crochet. So as you can see, we are just doing the same exact thing. And right now we have only 1 granny square left. So continue to join. So we are on the last group of 3 double crochets. And now we have the chain two space, so we are going to place a single crochet there. And then we are going to introduce this granny square, which is the very last one, but we are going to attach it onto this one here. Not the one on this side, the one on that's farthest away from you. So you're going to just grab this corner, and then you go into the chain two space and the chain two space on this side and start joining. Alright, now we are placing 1 single crochet into the chain two space, and then we are going to chain 1 and cut our yarn, pull through, and now we are now going to join this side. I think this is the last side, this one that's open. So you just place your work down like this and make sure you have this, And now we're going to just fold over this last granny square and join that side as well. So I'm going to start from the downer part. All right, attach your yarn and then single crochet all the way up, just like we've been doing. Alright, so this is what we have. The moment you place your last single crochet into the chain two space, you're going to just push everything in and make sure your work is on the right side, and this is what you'll have. So the reason why I decided to end my work on the top side is so that I already start working on the edging using that strand that I'm left with. So let's start that. This is the general shape, and now we're going to start working on the edging of the bag, trying to bring it in so that it's not very wide like this. So you're going to just get that loop from your very last stitch, and you are going to start making single crochets, and the single crochets are going to be placed only in the stitches. We're not placing any single crochets into the chain one spaces or the chain two spaces. So from here you're going to just jump into the very first double crochet and single crochet in there. So single crochet into each and every double crochet. If it's a chain three, remember it counted as a double crochet, so we go on top of the chain three with a single crochet like that, and we are going to go all the way around, placing one single crochet into each and every double crochet. And make sure your stitches are on the tighter side, because we want our bag to come in and we don't want the opening to be very wide. So just go into each and every single crochet. When it comes to the chain two space, you've seen what I've done. I've just skipped over it and I went straight into the double crochet stitches. So skip all the chain two spaces, skip all the chain one spaces, and just go into the double crochet stitches and single crochet on top of them. So you can see the part that I have worked on so far is bringing in the bag. So continue to do that all the way across. So when it comes to this part where we have two granny squares joining, just don't mind about the chain two spaces, just skip over to the next single crochet. Sorry, skip over to the next double crochet and single crochet into it. I'm sorry about that. I forgot to mention, if you're a person who is going for something that's lined, I think it's better to make the lining before you start the single crochet row, so that you join, but make sure you don't tamper with the top of the stitches, because you'll have a hard time joining the edging onto the top of the bag. Okay, as you can see now, the bag is really coming in, and I think I'm loving this shape so much. This was a gamble, but it's working out really nicely. So let's continue. Okay, so when it comes to the very last double crochet, you're going to go into the very first single crochet. When you place your last single crochet into the very last double crochet, you're going to just skip the chain to space, and then you're going to just go into the very first single crochet that you made and place a slip stitch. I hope you still remember how to make a slip stitch. And this is how our bag looks like now, and you can see it's well shaped, well molded. And now what we are going to do is to make some more rounds of single crochet stitches, I think, because I would like the edging to be a little bit on the thicker side. So you're going to just make a chain of 1 and then go into every single crochet. You're not going to turn, just go into every single crochet with a single crochet all the way around, and you're going to keep repeating this. I'll let you know how many rounds that I'll do for my single crochet rounds, and I'll also show you how everything turned out. So just continue working single crochet rounds until you get the thickness of the top edging that you're going for. If this is okay for you, just stop there, but I think this is not okay for me. I'm going to do some more rounds of single crochet. And make sure, don't forget, make sure your stitches are on the tighter end, so that we limit the stretch of the top opening of the bag. This even seems elastic, as you can see here. It looks like it's elastic, yet it's not, but that's just because of the tension, the difference in tension on the lower end as compared to the upper end. Alright guys, so I went ahead to do a total of 5 rounds of the single crochet stitch, and this is what we have. I think this is much better than what we had before, because the opening at the top was way too wide and almost not functional, or something. It was going to give us a funny bag. So after your 5 rounds, I've just placed my very last slip stitch here, and I'm going to chain 1, cut my yarn, and then pull through. So what we are going to do right now is to weave in all our tails. Remember, we have tails to weave in also in the inside of the bag. You're going to get your darning needle, Okay, so we are done getting rid of all the loose ends. This is the wrong side of our work, and when we turn it to the right side, this is what we have now. And now we're going to start working on the strap that's going to join onto both ends of our bag. Okay, so now we are going to start working on our straps, and you're going to get your 2 stitch markers. We're just going to eyeball, just place your work flat and identify the exact middle of the side of the bag. Just put a stitch marker there, and then you're also going to do the same on this side. Just get one on the exact edge of the bag. And now what we are going to do is we're going to grab our yarn, and we are going to use a technique that's not so strange to us or very uncommon. We're going to use the Tunisian crochet stitch to make the strap of the bag, because it creates a very lovely stitch. So for those who haven't yet tried out Tunisian crochet, I have a beginner friendly tutorial, and I'll be linking it in the description box for you so that you can go and practice that. But you're going to make a slip knot, and now we are going to count 2 stitches away from the one with the stitch marker. So just see what I'm doing. 2 stitches away from the one with the stitch marker and go into the third. So we're counting 1, 2, and into the third we are placing our hook and attaching our yarn. And then we are going to remove the stitch marker. Now that we know, we count 1, 2, 3, and then the one with the stitch marker, and then 1, 2, 3 on this side. So you should be having a total of 7 stitches that we are considering for the strap. So at this point you can remove the stitch marker. So what we are going to do right now is to insert our hook and pull up a loop. So this loop here counts as one of the stitches. So 1, 2, insert your hook, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you should be having 7 loops on your hook, and then yarn over, pull through 1, and then for the rest you're going to yarn over, pull through 2, 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 and yarn over, pull through the last 2. So let's do that again. Remember, for Tunisian crochet, this counts as the very first stitch. So we don't consider this the very first vertical bar. So you're going to go into the second and pull up a loop, and then go into the third vertical bar, pull up a loop, go into the next, pull up a loop. So far we have a total of 4, and then go into the next, pull up a loop, go into the next and pull up a loop, and go into the very last one. But for the last one you're going to go into both loops. You're not only going to get the vertical bar at the front, you're going to get both loops, as you can see here, and you're going to pull up a loop, and you should be having a total of 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, 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 pull through 2, and pull through the last 2. So that's what we are going to keep repeating. So let me show you that one more time. We don't consider the very first vertical bar as a stitch, because this counts as a stitch. So we start inserting from the second one, and then continue to pull up a loop into each and every vertical bar, and then into the last one you go into both loops, the front and the back, and pull up a loop. You'll have 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 1, and then continue to yarn over, pull through 2 for all the remaining. All right, so this is what we have, and you can see it's working up very fine and very lovely. I'm going to go ahead and make some more rows. You're going to just continue to work this until you have the length of the strap that you want. I'll be letting you know the length that I'll do for mine, and then also let you know maybe how many rows that I'll do, but the main thing is the length that you'll consider depending on the fitting of the bag that you want. So we are creating something that is a bit thick and sturdy, and something very reliable. So continue to do this until your strap is long enough for the length that you're going for. Alright, so just a quick update of how the strap is looking like as I go. This is what it's looking like, and it's blending in so well with the stitch on the edge of the bag. So let me just continue and work, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so if you're going for a shoulder bag, then you're going to have to make your strap a little shorter than what we are going for the fanny pack. So for me, I'm still going. I still don't know how many rows that I'm going to do, but this is taking me forever. The only good thing is the stitch works up kind of fast, but I'm a bit tired, so I'm just taking my time to work the strap. Okay guys, finally I am through with my strap. I kept trying it on so that I got the fitting that I was going for, and I did a total of 100 rows of the granny. Sorry, I did a total of 100 rows of the Tunisian simple stitch. So for the next row, we're going to just wind up. You can see we have big holes when it comes to the top. You're going to just go into the next stitch, and then you're going to make a slip stitch, and then go into the next, and then pull through all. Go into the next and pull through all. Go into the next, pull through all. To the next, pull through all. And then go into the last, into both loops, and pull through all. So that's how we've finished up our row of the strap. You're going to chain one, cut your yarn, and then pull through. Now remember, we left a stitch marker on this side. The strap is coming from this side up to this side, so you're going to grab your darning needle, and you are going to start attaching. So we attach from the third stitch, from the stitch with the stitch marker. So count 3 stitches to the right. So 1, 2, 3. You start attaching, and make sure your strap is not twisted. So we are attaching stitch to stitch. The moment you locate the very first stitch, then we no longer need the stitch marker. And I told you I attach 2 times in the very first stitch. Then we are going to continue to attach all the 7 stitches. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th is this one on the side. And let me attach 2 times for the last one. Then you're going to go onto the wrong side and you're going to weave in this tail. So normally I think I would be done with this, but something else came to my mind while I was live on my TikTok and on Instagram. Something came to my mind. By the way, if you don't follow me on TikTok, I'll be leaving my link in the description box below so that you can follow me on all my socials. So this is what we have. This looks fine, it looks beautiful, but I feel like joining this tube, this panel to form a tube would make a very well finished strap. So what I'm going to do is to get a longer strand of green, one that can make it all the way around. And then thread your needle. Okay, something long enough. And what we are going to do is to attach those stitches. So for Tunisian crochet, you create stitches on this edge, as you can see, and on this edge as well. So what we are going to do is we're just going to go into the outside loop so that it can close up. The one on the outside edge. So start joining. We get this one on the outside and then get the one on the opposite side but on the other side, and then pull through. So you're going to continue joining your stitches so that it can fold and create a tube-like structure. So look at what we have right now. I think this is much better than leaving it like this, because this looks confusing. So you're going to go all the way around the strap, closing it up to form a tube, and I'll meet you back at this point. Alright, so we're coming to the end and I'm joining my very last stitches of the strap, and that's my very last one, and you can see what strap that has created. This is very cute, very reliable, very sturdy, it's not going anywhere. And from here you are going to weave in your ends. Okay, so once you're done with that, your bag is ready for use. You can go ahead and attach a zip if you want. You can go ahead and line it if you want, but if you want the basic, this is how our bag has turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below to let me know how this tutorial went, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, thanks for watching.